right, we are live here for my very first Warrior Talk. I'm going to invite Kelly in so she can go live with me. So bear with me for just a moment. Hey, give us just a second. There's Kelly. I see you. I hope there's not an echo.
I'm turning it down. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm turning mine down too. Are we good?
Right. We're good. I'm turning my phone up and then my computer down.
Yeah. Okay. We are good. And all right, so we're just gonna be live on Instagram because my Facebook guy over here is telling me it's not gonna work. So
Okay.
we'll just share a copy of this to Facebook later. All right, well, thank you everybody who's hopping on and who was anticipating this interview with us today. I'm like really excited. Like I said in my post, I don't know why I didn't think to do this before today, like before now. But actually the thought came to me, I was in conversation. Okay, hold on. Let me start by saying the whole reason for wanting to have this conversation, and this is the first of a couple that I already have in my mind that I want to share people with you who are warriors. I want you to hear from the warrior instructors themselves. I know, maybe some of you, you follow me, and you already know, like, yes, Angel, we see you talk about warrior all the time, but it can really help to make this a very tangible thing, I think, and to help you get more of an insight into why I'm even excited about warrior, that I talk about it so much, why I decided to become a warrior master trainer, why I decided to share the warrior love wherever I go, and why it is the one umbrella, the one overarching format or brand that I have been trusted to teach all of the formats for. And so whether you know me through Warrior Revolution, Warrior Strength, Warrior Kids, Warrior Combat, Kelly, help me out here. Which one did I not say yet? Rhythm, Revolution, Combat, Kids, Strength.
Revolution, rhythm.
Yeah.
What are
we
forgetting?
And now I can say roots. That
yes.
We'll have some rhythm roots people here soon.
Yeah.
All right. So no matter which one of those you know me from, I want you to start to get to know the instructors in the circles that we run. So obviously we're both here because of the one big visionary, Ellen DeWord. And so maybe you know of Warrior through Ellen, and this is going to be an opportunity for you to get to know us. Maybe you see our faces in some of the pictures and the videos that she shares of us teaching our classes. However it is that you came to be here, I'm really excited for you to meet Kelle Tucker. So Kelly, I do have your official bio, and let's say this. I'm in my home office, yeah, and
yes.
You are at work office.
Yep, and on my lunch break. Just throwing that out there. This is on my lunch break.
So we gotta be quick. We gotta be quick and timely with this. We're not gonna keep you all day, but I do want to kind of start this by giving you like I'm going to read an official bio for you so you can kind of get to know who Kelly is, like why is she even here, and how, and then I want her to start to share some of her story and how we met. How did we first meet? Because we actually met before Warrior. Mm-hmm. And it was a completely different world, a completely different time then. And then how Warrior came to be, between my life and your life. Hey, Elizabeth, we know, and how we have both continued to move forward together in the warrior community, in the warrior space. Mm-hmm. So Kelly's background spans from dance to fitness to accounting, lots of variety. She has 10 years of dance experience from her adolescent years. Kelly has 2 bachelor's degrees, one in entrepreneurship, and the other in accounting. She will soon have her master's degree in accounting. She has been a full-time accounting manager for 15 years and a part-time group fitness instructor for 7 years. Are y'all inspired yet? Because like she runs circles around me. Kelle is married with 2 teenage kids and she lives in Plano, Texas. Kelle first got into group fitness in 2017 and she never could find the group fitness classes she really wanted to take. So she discovered that she could teach the formats that she loved. Her dance background contributed to her ability to quickly pick up choreography and teach it to others. Her classes started in the back room of a fitness apparel store. One day we're going to dive into that story. And then a local recreation center until she was fortunate enough to find employment at a local chain of gyms where she has been teaching for the past 5 years. I know what gym that is because I'm there too. She holds specialty certifications in 12 different group fitness formats, including warrior formats, and will be working toward her APA Group X certification this fall. Congratulations on that. Her favorite thing about teaching group fitness is meeting new members and building relationships. Her class members have become like family to her. I love that. I love your whole bio. It really does kind of give a little snapshot into you. And so I'm going to give it over to you for a moment, Kelle, and just maybe start to share with us, how did you and I meet in the midst of this group fitness story that you started through your bio here? So we know you first started into group fitness in 2017. Mm-hmm. And so where did you and I start to connect in the group fitness space?
In 2018, after I was certified in another format, I was invited by...
It was Turbo Cake. You can say it.
Turbo Cake.
Shout out to Chrissy Ackerman.
Yes, Chrissy Ackerman, who, funny enough, I knew her back in college. I realized later. So she invited me to a master class where she was certifying more instructors, and I had seen you in her Facebook friends, and I knew of you, and then I met you at her master class at Jambox Fitness or Jambox in Frisco. I can't remember what it is, and your energy was amazing. And then I found out you taught at Texas Family right down the road from me. I was driving all the way to Frisco to her class, which was great, but I was like, that's really close. So I came to your class one time and I was like, this is really convenient. It's right down the road.
This was in Plano.
This is in Plano.
So,
yeah.
Just a side note, because talking to group fitness instructors out there, when you're asked to cover a class or pick up a class, you never know where it's going to lead you, because that Plano class was a 35-minute drive for me. But I agreed to it because it was a double block and I was going to temporarily be helping out someone who needed long-term coverage for surgery. It was a fellow instructor who knew that I taught the same formats as her. So what started out as like a 6-month commitment turned into like a 6-7 year commitment. And then eventually I handed over this class to Kelle, and she now has taken over that space. So I like fast forward to the story for you a little bit.
You're good.
But just so you know, like, I want you to have that in the back of your mind when she's talking about this, because like we met at another certification. Like, I was already certified. I was just there out of the goodness of my heart because I loved and respected and wanted to show honor to a fellow friend instructor at the time who was a master trainer. And so I just went to support her in her event. And it was at lunch really that I remember seeing Kelle's face and having any type of resemblance of an actual conversation across the table. And then fast forward, she comes walking into my class. I'm like, oh, hi.
And you're like, what
sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
You're like, get on the sub list. And so, yeah, you helped me. It helps to know people. You helped me get hired on at Texas Family. And then I taught my own classes it was about a 30-minute drive for me out in Louisville. But that was where I started. And then I made my way back home to Plano. And
Yeah.
here we are.
And here we are. And by the way, Kelly is like has been the sub queen in our instructor circles forever and ever. As far as Texas Family Fitness instructors go, that's probably how you know her, is constantly agreeing and picking up to help sub and cover. She has a day job. She does have permanent classes. Tell us what you normally teach now. What are you
Um,
teaching now?
I teach warrior strength, warrior rhythm, warrior combat, and warrior revolution.
Uh-huh.
And I'm teaching on the schedule. I have 6 classes a week.
Yeah.
When I'm subbing, it can go up to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On top of that, you've been a full-time employed. You've been in school pursuing your degrees,
Yeah.
and a dedicated
Girl
like your daughter,
Scout mom,
Girl Scout.
Girl Scout co-leader.
And now she's marching band, right? So
Yes.
get ready, buckle up, sister, because
Oh
I
yeah.
come from marching band world. I'm now a veteran. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm in my
This is our
final 3
second
years
year.
with my high school kid. So, all right. So here, and you were in color
I
guard,
was.
so you know how it's gonna go.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we briefly touched on like why you became an instructor. But I know, but tell us, tell our audience, like, so they kind of get an idea, like, where were you before Warrior?
Before Warrior, I was teaching other formats, and that company of group fitness formats shut down very quickly.
Yeah.
And I was looking for something else and trying to find that next step to take. I did find another format, but it wasn't until you invited me to a workshop. They have Warrior Rhythm, Warrior Strength, and I'd never taken them before. And I was going to support you, and I was a little interested in finding something else because the format I was teaching, while it worked, I just wasn't feeling, there was something missing in there. And it was Warrior Rhythm that I fell in love with. Warrior Strength was,
Which
I
was
mean,
a
I already
surprise,
had,
right?
do what?
Which was a surprise
Yes, I did not have a
because
mind body.
you
I
have
had
no
never done
mind
mind
body
body.
format
No.
that you prior to this you were teaching a strength and cardio format, yeah, and you were
Yep.
teaching cardio kickbox, turbo kick,
Mm-hmm.
cardio kickboxing, right?
Yeah.
And that was it.
That was it.
That was it. So Warrior Rhythm caught you by surprise.
It did. And then
You were kind of like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like Warrior Strength, but Warrior Rhythm,
Warrior,
I'll just kind of, yeah, I guess since I'm already there. And then you
yeah,
must have fallen in love with it.
fell in love with it, got certified in 24 hours.
Sure did.
And
Sure did.
then I
You
was
gave
like,
me
okay, let's
whiplash.
go and add on strength.
I was like,
And yeah,
like, cause okay, so just so they have perspective, like we were coming out of the pandemic.
yes.
It was our first like in-person workshop, and we had accredited online self-studies,
Mm-hmm.
but I was a master trainer, but I wasn't yet allowed to offer
Right,
in-person live certifications.
right.
So Kelly goes online and completes a self-study in one day and is considered, she's certified right after attending my
Yeah,
master class. And then you turned around and you did Warrior Strength also.
yes.
Yes.
Like the
And
next
so
day or within there, yeah.
here you go. You're teaching rhythm and you're teaching strength. You've been in this for a bit, right?
Yes.
Hey, Mary Hicks, I see
Hey,
you.
Mary.
and 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 so tell me, like, compare, because you talked about, and I can relate to this. You had these other formats that you were teaching because it was all you had,
Mm-hmm.
but you were still looking
Yeah,
for something new, because once a company shuts down, like that's it. And I was a
right.
part of that same
Yeah.
company, y'all. It shut down, it closed its doors, and here I was. I had like 4 formats, so that represented 4 different types of classes that I had on the schedule. I was teaching 10, 12 classes a week minimum, and I had all these people that I was responsible to for having fresh, relevant, up to date, not only workouts, but playlists
Yeah,
that go with that workout,
playlist.
because
Yes.
who else out there knows that old music can get tired.
Yeah.
And so you have to keep it fresh. You have to keep it, keep bringing new and fresh things into your class.
Right.
And so I was kind of on that same journey with you, Kelly. Like I can relate to that. I was looking at other formats all the way up until I found Warrior. I was actually teaching other formats. I just quickly threw myself into teaching other formats after that company closed. And then, but I felt like something was off. Something was missing. I really wasn't loving what I was teaching. And so I was just really grateful and fortunate when Warrior came across my screen. Literally, it was on Instagram.
Right.
That I came across Ellen's profile. I knew of Ellen before because she was featured in our instructor videos for PIO, which, I mean, so I had seen her and I recognized her. I briefly met her at a conference years before. And so I was like on that lookout looking to see what are my mentors doing from that same company. Like they're having to reinvent their classes as well. And I was fortunate to find Ellen and see that she was creating her own thing, and the rest is history. And so what took me by surprise though was that something that I just wanted for me and my people, and then I meet people like you that fall in love with it in the same way that I did, and get daring and brave enough to try new things. Like crossing over into a whole nother type of format. Like there aren't a lot of instructors like you who will dare to say, like most people, they say, I'm a strength and cardio girl. Boom, done. Like I don't teach anything else but X, Y, Z. Like this is the one thing I teach, or this is the two things that I teach. And you really took me by surprise when you picked up rhythm. But then equally so, you surprised me by how much you wholeheartedly embraced all of the Warrior formats. So not to get stuck too much on rhythm, but you got rhythm, you got strength, and then when Warrior Combat was eventually launched, you got on board for that, like immediately.
Yeah.
When Warrior Revolution came around, you weren't even attending you weren't even attending my Warrior Revolution classes, and you were just like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do this. Right?
I knew we needed it. I knew we needed it.
I love that. You said, did y'all hear what she said? I knew we needed it.
We need them. We didn't have enough. We don't have enough instructors. And I never thought I'd teach cycle, and I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my new favorites.
So that's amazing. So here we go. And so I do want to talk about, when was it that you knew that Warrior was it for you? Because at some point we all have to make that decision,
Yeah.
when we're straddling the fence, or we're, we have these formats over here and then we have these formats over here, and we're kind of like, do I teach this one or this one? Like, what was it that sealed the deal for you to choose and go with Warrior?
To be honest with you, it was, and it's a little thing, but it's a huge thing. Every format comes with a playlist. I don't have to go searching for music. I have a playlist, timer, playlist, notes, training video, done. I don't have to build anything. And some of the other formats I had to. But that was what made me switch, mainly on the strength format, because that was the one I mainly had to switch or make a decision on. But what really sealed the deal was going to the fitness conference that year, right after I signed up. My husband, he was my boyfriend at the time, he knew that they were coming to Dallas, and he had been following Ellen even before I became a Warrior instructor. And he goes, "You're going, and I'm going to pay for it. You're going to go, and you're going to have fun."
You got and husbands like that. My husband's like that too.
And he does every year. Every year he's like, "You're going."
Yeah.
And getting to meet everyone in person and just creating those bonds with, and friendships, lifelong friendships with all the other instructors, that really, really sealed the deal for me.
Yeah. I remember once again just being floored, like, oh yes, Kelly's going to SCW Dallas. And like this is, I was so excited because not all instructors will commit to themselves to be in an environment like that, to make an investment, because let's be honest, it is a financial investment.
Yes.
And it is a time investment. You're having to oftentimes take time off of work in order to be there all day. It is it is taxing of your energy. And also, like, if you're not working, you possibly won't be making money and you're spending money in order to be there. Like, let's be honest. But it is an educational experience for starters. I mean, obviously, if you can go and with a purpose of earning CECs, attending all the different workshops. But I also see it's very exciting if you go in with a mindset of networking, meeting other people, seeing the new, fresh formats that are out there, seeing the leaders that are of the industry, who are showing up. And that energy is unlike anything. Also, to be around like-minded fitness instructors, gym managers, personal trainers, like they're across the board, all fitness people, and to be surrounded by that it really, I feel like when you in that kind of environment, you walk away and there's more clarity and an intention and purpose, like an extra bump of motivation, and it's like you kind of you have an extra pep in your step going into your regular work week at the following Monday.
Oh yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
So, but to get back on point, I remember you saying, because we talked a little bit, we've talked about this several times over the years, off and on, like that you felt like you couldn't not go to this conference. Tell me what it was like though, that first moment, like walking in, because that can be very nerve-wracking. You know me, and I know you.
Yeah.
And Ellen knows of you, but this would be the first time you're meeting her in person, and all other warriors showing up. And that was like our first year to do SCW Dallas. And so we had several master trainers traveling in and several other fellow instructors traveling in from out of state that you had never met. So what was that first moment like for you?
I'll be honest, I'm glad you were there to greet me, because I was a little nervous walking in. I was starstruck meeting Ellen, but then at the same time, she's very down to earth, like your best friend. I mean, she's very sweet. Several of the instructors I knew through Facebook, but we had never met in person. So there was a little bit of familiarity there. But everyone was so welcoming, and there was no I can't find the word for it. It was like a big sisterhood, everyone was just so friendly, so welcoming, and I didn't feel like I was being judged by anybody.
I remember you using the words that it felt like a family, that it is a family of its own. I mean, since then we've even gone on a little Warrior Girls trip.
We did
with a group of us. Shout out to Mary Hicks and Marlena and Heather Fields. We went on a little Oklahoma trip because we just love Warriors so much. Like that's what we love to do together. But I remember being blown away by how you showed up at the conference, and your mindset was immediately, where do you need me? How can I help? Not for your own, not necessarily for your own glory, but to be like, how can I be a part of this, of what we are here to do together? It's like you immediately got the vision and you understood what our mission was while we were there. Like, we're spreading awareness for Warrior. Yes, we are also connecting to real people. So you were like, covering the booth a lot of times and meeting and greeting people and inviting them. I think we were giving away a free certification
Right.
that year and inviting them to all of our sessions. And then you were still there in every single session, front row, big smile on your face, through all the sweat, high fives, all the things. And I can only imagine what it was like to experience Warrior in that environment for the first time. If you want to
It's
share any.
just, I mean, it's a different level when you're there with the master trainers, with the creator herself. I mean, you're immersed in it completely, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I mean, I feel like our energy is bigger than life itself whenever we are collectively in a room like that and you're just surrounded by fitness
Yeah,
professionals, group fitness instructors. They get it. They're there. There's two different hats that we're all wearing in the room. One is I'm just a participant and I'm experiencing this
right.
for me.
Yeah,
But then we also find our brains like switching over to the other hat, the instructor hat, where we're imagining delivering this to our people. Like, how can I
right.
take this? It's now seated in my heart. How can I take this and pour out this same type of energy to all of my
Hmm.
people back home whenever I get there, you know?
Yeah.
And it's very, it's intoxicating, if you will. It's addicting. You want to go back year after year. In fact, we're going to be back there again
Next
next
week.
week?
Next
Next
week.
week. So
Yes.
you guys will see us there. All right. So let me right here do a very, we talked about community being one of the main things that made you want, like, made the difference for
Mhm.
you. With, yes, there was a smart design to the formats. You were like, yeah, this makes my life easier. And
Yes.
particularly, you were talking about strength with the timer,
Yeah.
and how it's customized for you. All the moves are in there. There's zero memorization. Your playlist is literally plugged in and like married to it, so you can hit play in the timer, and both your playlist and your moves are
Right.
happening on the screen at the same time. It really makes it super simple to be able to pick it up and teach it. Especially, I feel like if you're an experienced instructor
Mhm.
already, you could pick it. You could attend a certification on Saturday and probably teach it on Monday.
Right.
Yeah. If you're a brand new instructor, there might be a little bit of a learning curve depending on what knowledge base you're starting from for fitness wise, but definitely the easiest and simplest. So I am going to do an unashamed plug right here. And I'm going to ask you to share why you think someone should get certified in Warrior Strength, because we have an opportunity here in Frisco, Texas, you know, and you're going to be there. So I'm really
Mhm.
excited.
Yeah.
We have a double header weekend coming up. We have a Warrior Strength. Let me back up. Warrior Revolution is being on September 7th, which is our indoor cycling format. And Warrior Strength is September 8th,
Mhm.
and that is our cardio weights functional training
Yeah.
format. So right now we're talking about Warrior Strength, but what would be one reason that you would say definitely instructors should consider, or a brand new person like who just is even just a little bit curious about getting into becoming a group fitness instructor, why Warrior Strength would be an ideal format to start, whether you're brand new
Mhm.
or a veteran? Like, what are some no-brainer reasons that you think someone should get
Um,
certified?
so it is, out of all the formats, it's the easiest one to learn because there's no memorization at all. Everything timer, you've got your timer and everything, so you can learn the moves and go teach them right away. We need strength training, no matter what age you
Mm-hmm.
are. Everyone, and
Mm-hmm.
as we get older, we need it even
Mm-hmm.
more.
I didn't know
And
you were going to go there, but go ahead. Go ahead. Preach.
I am
Soapbox.
getting older.
Go.
No, we do. We need it. And I've met a lot of members who don't realize that. They think they need all cardio. They'll even ask me, how much cardio do I need? I'm like, not that much. You need to lift weights. And we need more of it. We need more
Yeah,
strength training instructors. Um,
absolutely.
and it's for all levels. You can modify even the high impact. You can modify it down to a low impact
Yeah.
level. So
Yeah, because
it's
I
very
mean, I
easy.
know you do. You and I have shared this before. We have all levels of fitness in our classes,
Hmm.
and we want to be able to customize and tailor the workouts to meet the needs of all the fitness levels. And I love that one of the things that I love about Warrior Strength is our tagline, all shapes, all sizes. We really mean that in the fact, to say that we want everybody and everybody to feel successful and to be able to get a really effective, safe, smart workout through Warrior Strength. So now, why do you think Warrior Revolution? Why? I mean, it's indoor cycling, but it's not just terrain. It's party on the bike. It's got like we do push-ups and we do tap backs and we do shoulder drops and we do all these then we do fun elbows and dancing moments. I mean, that can look really intimidating.
Mm-hmm. It really, it's a zero impact class that, if you're wanting cardio, but you don't feel like jumping, get on a bike, you can get your cardio burn. But we also incorporate upper body, a lot of upper body, surprisingly, right there on the bike. And you don't have to lift a single weight. And the music, the playlist is amazing. I mean, you can't not have fun in class just with it.
It does have like a little bit of an unexpected edge.
Yeah.
That a lot of people, I can't tell you how many times people come to me and say, I need your playlist. Can you share with me like the third to last song? Or maybe, what was the name of that one where she kept singing like blah, 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 blah. And I mean, so many times I have people come and ask me about my playlist, and I can't take credit for it because it's designed for me. It's created for me. And I mean, the wonderful creativity of Ellen, she pulls these songs in that stir something up in your soul and make you have this like almost out of body experience. You're very much in it, right, with your body. It is very physically challenging, but it helps you almost escape or tap into a higher energy, if you will. If that, like to find the that you need in order to get through because you're so driven by the music. And the choreography is married just like so perfectly. It's like your body wants to do what you're doing because the music is telling you. Like, this is what, oh yeah. Like, and so I just think it's amazing how we can enjoy it so much, but then how it transcends over into our members. So, and you've seen growth in your classes since launching. Like, you launched it Warrior Revolution very quickly. You had been already teaching strength, but shout out to Kelle, y'all, because Kelle has actually been growing her classes through summer. Every time you post a picture, I'm going, wow, I think she just multiplied by another 2-3 people. Do you see members just responding to the Warrior formats and seeing like how they, like the integrity of one literally translates to the integrity of another when you launch it?
Yeah, and then they surprise themselves because I'll invite them to a class, and Revolution cycle classes scare people sometimes, and I'm like, no, come try it. I allow you to go at your own pace, your own level. If you don't want to add a gear, I give them the freedom to be themselves. And I've had a few that stick around and they come back and they're telling me, I didn't think I would love this class that much, but I love it and I'm getting better, so they just continue coming and they're inviting their friends and, I don't know what else how else it's happening other than that.
Well, and one thing unique about you, and I'll go ahead, I would like for you to share, like, you can share like what inspired you to do this and then we'll wrap it up. So one thing different about Kelle, so if you come to my classes, you always get like straightforward. If it says I teach Warrior Combat, it's Warrior Combat. I teach Warrior Rhythm, it's Warrior Rhythm. Warrior Strength, it's Warrior Strength. The only caveat there is that on Tuesdays we include the cardio, the Tabata, and then on Thursdays they just request a no impact option and more weights, less cardio. And we can do that because there's mobility, there's core, in addition to the programming of the weight training section. It's very flexible with Warrior Strength that I'm able to customize it for the class's needs and what's needed most on the schedule and what the members are requesting. But you Warrior Revolution, I teach Warrior Revolution, which, by the way, Strength and Revolution is a very popular mashup that we know other instructors in our Warrior community, like Mary Camus, she does, and Ellen herself offers like a 30-minute Warrior Revolution on the bike, and then a 30-minute Warrior Strength using the build section, which is the weight training. So it's a very, very popular mix, but you do something else too.
I do a mashup of strength and rhythm on my Tuesday class.
And that was my
member
request, right?
Yeah, it was. It started as I took over a mind body class. So we had Warrior Rhythm. And they started requesting, they wanted more weights. They loved the lift section of Warrior Rhythm. And it took me a little bit because I told them, I said, I can't add another class. I'm maxed out right now, personal life. And then I went home and thought about it, and I'm like, I can mash up the build section of strength and the pieces of Warrior Rhythm, whichever I choose that week. Usually, just anything in the sun salutation or the build or the flow, and they love it.
Yeah.
And that grew my class.
Perfect little marriage between strength training, and the yoga flows, that they're getting the best of both worlds. They're getting stronger and they're getting more flexible.
Yep.
They're working on balance. So
yeah,
I think it's really great that you're doing something different in your Plano classes, and you're customizing it to what your members are wanting and requesting more of. And I also just want to say I really appreciate you and the way that you lead within the Warrior community.
Thank you.
I really do. You stand out to me in that way. The way that you just wholeheartedly embrace all Warrior formats. You make it your own. You don't keep yourself in a box and say, I only teach this. You open your mind and apply yourself. And then the last little thing I want to give you credit, or like give you a little loving for, is you show up to receive feedback. You show up and put yourself in positions over and over and over, like Camp Rockstar last year. You had a funny story about that.
That was so scary for me. I was excited about it because I'm thinking I'm getting one-on-one hands-on training from Diva and Ellen. And then I'm thinking I'm going to be working out in front of Diva and Ellen. What are they going to say? What are they going to think? And Ellen called me out for my form on an uppercut because it was too much like another format, and it was not proper
We're
form.
trying to be authentic here.
Yeah, and it was good. And Diva came over and I'll never forget this. She grabbed my hand for an uppercut and put it right in front of her chin. Like, she was right here in front of me. And she's like, this is where you're hitting.
That immediately happens in the body whenever she does that. Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, we're good. And so that, I don't know, I think Camp Rockstar helped me get out of my head and realize that feedback is good, even if you don't like it at first, even if it's kind of a shock to your ego. It made me better, and so I had to learn to open myself up to be to constructive criticism. And it helped me as an instructor getting feedback from my members as well, because if there's something I'm doing they're not liking, I had to, instead of making excuses about why I do it, I take it and I listen to them, and I'm like, okay, go home and reflect on it, and then I grow from there.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's beautiful. It's something that we as instructors really need to continue to allow ourselves to be put in environments where we are learning and growing and honing in on this skill set. We have a lot of different skills that in a toolbox that we have to pull out all the time, from public speaking and presentation to how our form and technique physically, to being an educator and cueing
Yes.
And so it's just it's a lot of different little components that we need to always be reflecting and saying, how can I get better? How can I grow? So thank you so much for sharing
Yes.
all that you have shared today. I know that there's so much more that we could share, but I think we've been here long enough. And I just want to thank you again for just being vulnerable, being transparent, sharing your story, letting others get to know you a little
Yeah.
bit. And thank you again
Yeah.
just for trusting Warrior, for being a part of everything Warrior. Thank you for so many years being committed to attending my classes and then very graciously taking it over when the time came
Yeah.
to pass that torch. We
That
had
was a
a pass the
huge
torch
honor.
party,
Oh my
and
gosh.
I love seeing you grow. I love that you have the new nickname Killer Kelly. It was a joy for me to come attend your class as a participant a few months ago and just see how much you have grown as an instructor. And I look forward to seeing you at SCW
Can't wait.
Dallas next weekend, and
Yes.
then again we get to powwow on the doubleheader Warrior certifications at Texas Only
Yes.
Fitness coming up just a couple weeks after that.
Mhm.
And so thank you again for being here. Anything else you want to say?
No, thank you for having me. It was great.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna go, you guys. If you have any questions or anything, drop them in the comments. We'll be happy to circle back around and answer them for you. And thanks for being here.
Yeah,
All
thanks for
right.
having me.
Bye, y'all.
All right, bye.
I gotta remember how to end the live.